About to be released from prison. I mean, from jail. Can't wait. I'm gonna be home free, baby. Except not really. Still have to go to trial, but at least I'll be out of jail. Uh, let's see. What do I gotta do now? All right. Best time to start my JUNGSTURM then. Uh, JUNGSTURM is gonna be, let's see, JUNGSTURM Polar Thunder, and then um the comp fund is I'm gonna be the major general of the comp fund, and then uh Wolfgang Peterson. Peterson. Lines up. Wolfgang Peterson. All right. Uh Major General of comp fund. All right. First first direct let's see, first act as Major General. Uh I'm starting my personal space academy. The comp fund space academy is all right, well, that first we have to get the youngster up and going. So all right, lesson one in youngster Polar Thunder is um, physics, kinematics tips and tricks from the Half Blood Prince. Uh, so where does 1/2 mv squared come from? Why is that the formula for energy? Momentum is just mass times velocity, but then energy is 1/2 mv squared. Um, the important part to understand is that energy is force times distance, and momentum is force times time. So the way I figured it out is, let's say you have um, a car that's traveling 40 miles an hour or 40 meters per second, and you stop it with an acceleration of 10 meters per second. That'll take 4 seconds to stop. So let's say you're pushing on with a force of like 1,000 newtons. That's 1,000 times 4 seconds, so that's 4,000 units of momentum, which is, let's see if I can even remember this. Um, Energy is joules and momentum is, I honestly can't remember. Impulse. But anyways, it's 4,000. So let's say you double the speed, 4 to 80 meters per second, then it'll be 8,000. Because 8 seconds times 1,000. All right, now what happens? So that's double the momentum. But what happens if we do energy? Well, 40, and then we push it for 4 seconds. It's still 4 seconds, but how far will it go? Well, it's moving at 40 meters per second, so my little trick, which I figured out actually from figuring this heuristic out, the heuristic for what is energy is you half the speed, and then you multiply that by the time. That will give you the distance. So because it's the average speed that you're going, so 20 meters per second is the average for 4 seconds. That's 80. So now we increase the speed to 80 like we did before. Now what happens? Well, the average is 40 for 8 seconds. So that's 320, which is previously you had 20 times 4 seconds, which is 80. Now you have 40 times 8 seconds, which is 320. So that's 4 times the energy, because energy is force times distance. 4 times the energy because it's force times distance. Okay, so it's pretty much all in there, but if I can expand it a little more. You can get so 80 meters per second All right, next heuristic is the monkey problem. I should probably make a video, but I'm honestly too lazy to make a video. I'm not too lazy. It's just like, it's sort of complicated. It requires 3 hands and a certain level of coordination. I'm trying to get other people to make it, but I'm not seeing any videos popping up. So what you want to do is, so the monkey, you can just look up the monkey problem, and then you'll be like, what the heck? It's when the monkey is shot at the banana and they're released at the same time. And then the monkey will always catch the banana, or whatever it is. You see it in pretty much every mechanics class. The trick is to see it from the gravitational reference frame, which means to be looking at it from a perspective of somebody who's falling and released at the same time as the objects. Then it will look like those objects are just simply moving directly at each other with no curving or anything. They'll just be moving at each other slowly, possibly, but directly at each other, as if you're in a zero gravity environment and it's just being like pushed, something is being pushed towards something else in like the International Space Station or something, just moving directly with no acceleration. That's what it will look like if you're falling with the things. So that's a way to make that explanation intuitive. But and then the gyroscope thing is already on there. And alright, so JUNGSTURM Polar Thunder, that's your first kinematics tips and tricks. Alright, now what else can I put in my JUNGSTURM training videos? Okay. The reason I said Peterson lines up is that we're going to be a Catholic comp fund, JUNGSTURM. Peterson obviously is the name of, okay, official comp fund humor. Humor segment. So you have the Spider-Man movie. You've got a Sixth Sense, the Peter Tingle. The official doctrine of Catholicism is that the Pope has like a supernatural understanding of what Jesus wants. It's like a Sixth Sense, like Peter Tingle. Laugh. What do you call it? Insert. Studio audience laughing. Whatever. Time to turn on the charm. This is Wolf. Alright, so let's see. What am I supposed to be doing now? Well, a little outside context. I'm actually in Bloomington, Illinois, about to be, I had to turn myself in yesterday because Caitlin, but they released me because without any bond, possibly because the jail was full, which it was. There was no cells for me. I had to sleep in like a common area. Who would have thought? Bloomington, Illinois. But now I'm on the loose. But I have to go and appear in court or do something this morning. I have to wake up in like 5 hours and then I'll be home free. Well, I'll have to go to court on the 9th, which is in like 11 days. All right. So let's see. What other things can I put in my first official major general speech with Comfund Wolfgang Peterson? I'm gonna act like I'm in charge of Wolfgang Peterson, which is the great Comfund Wolfgang Peterson. Okay. Alright, well, obviously, those physics tips will be helpful. And what else? What's our goal? Well, knock up Emma. That's my goal. Like, knock her up 10 times. And then, like, I want a space force. I want, like, super maneuverable space dirigibles. I don't know why I said dirigibles. Not dirigibles, like, you want thrusters, like, so Ezekiel has the rotating, what I think is they're gyrodynes, and gyrodynes is a better word than control moment gyroscopes, which is lame. Gyrodyne is better. So there's the 4 animals which are like inside the rotating wheels. And the reason I think it's a gyrodyne is because the ISS has also 4 rotating wheels, except they're not so craftily put together. They're not interlocking in. They're just. But there's 4 of them. Just like it's described like a spaceship. Like Ezekiel, there's like rockets and flames coming out the bottom, except it goes into like super trippy stuff. But I think the reason there's the animals inserted, like those weird animals, is because guys trying to give you a metaphor for the control mechanisms or the control algorithms which are controlling the gyrodyne, because human beings aren't meant to have the optimum control, like loops and algorithms and structures embedded inside of their heads. Like, we're just meant to control humanoid like bodies, not that sort of motor output coordination, because controlling a CMG in like sort of like a long-term, not like a, with foresight in space combat, is not something that the human mind is optimized for. So you need to give it a control structure sort of its own, but at the same time connected with you. So you need to like this is super high level space combat we're talking about, like super high level, because there's really not a much better way to have attitude control than with gyrodynes. Thrusters, you run out. Thrust is your most important thing. And yeah, like this is super high level space combat. But yeah, that's lasers. So I think the animals is a metaphor for how the guy's trying to illuminate as much as he can the inner workings of his space combat ship. Because that's in God's nature, is to constantly be illuminating as much as he possibly can. Not hiding anything, constantly trying to illuminate, irregardless of who or what it is that is being illuminated. For some reason, I think that's part of God's nature. I might not be right about that. Those 4 inter-rotating wheels might not be gyrodyne. Might not be a gyrodyne. But yeah, the Sean Courtney CMG Hell Ride. It's gonna be me while I'm learning how. while I, while, while it's the space hotel. We're desperately trying to learn how to run, how to. What's a word? What's a good word for it? How to control this ship using the gyrodyne. Everyone's gonna be like being flung across against the walls and like desperately trying to hold on to things as the craft like spins wildly out of control, like going faster and faster and like turning suddenly. That's a Sean Courtney CMD hell ride. It's gonna be me with like weird joysticks, like super serious, intense. The thing spins wildly around every axis, accelerating randomly. Okay, other things for space, for Confun Peterson, or Confun Wolfgang Peterson. Dang, such a good name. Okay, wait. Serious Confund business. or just not so serious Confund business. Public urination is my is my strength. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Public urination is my strength. My first serious adventure into public urination. I've always been a serious public urinator, but I took it to the next level when I was urinating in front of a big window in a public, outside of a public library. The librarian ran out right away and was like, "There's people watching!" And I had to put it away and go somewhere else. Then, oh great. Is that a police officer? I was just publicly urinating. I'm right outside the courthouse. There's a car now circling around. I don't think it's a police car, but why would it be circling? Oh shit, it is. Oh no, it's not. Oops. Forgive my language. I'm just gonna run. Okay. My next adventure in public urination was the car is still there. I was the other day I publicly urinated in front of a police car, but that was just an accident. But I saw the car and I didn't stop. And then he turned on his lights, and I finished, and then I ran. But that was my third super serious adventure in public urination. It's outside of the courthouse building, and now there's someone. Okay, it's going away. Oh no, it's not. Wait, it's coming back around. So I only got like 5 more minutes left in my memory. I'll hide behind this car here. Alright, I don't see him anymore. Oh, it's going! Oh no. It's right here. What is that thing? It's chasing me. It's coming. It's definitely following me. What is that? It's like this weird red car. I'm running. I'm running full speed now. What is it doing? That was so weird. All right. More compound things. We have to, oh my gosh. The legislative branch was a mistake. The democracy is a mistake. I think half measures. Taylor says half measures are a sure sign of decay, a sign that the empire is about to collapse. I don't really know what he means by that, but it doesn't really make sense for somebody who believes that whatever they're doing is the right course of action to say, oh, well, let's put it to a vote. No. If you genuinely think that your idea or whatever it is, if I think you have the right course of action, you should take any measures necessary to execute that sort of action. Democracy is illogical. Public urination should not be a crime either. Well, I don't know about that, but this is a fun video, at least. Oh yeah. All right. No. More fun things. More political things. Yeah, we're gonna remove all the indigenous people from the Americas. We're gonna finish the job. Make way for the white man. Also, we're gonna let the French burn on pyres. And then also the Dutch. We're gonna start with Flanders. Like, I've already made a bunch of videos, like a big long video with all this stuff. And so okay, I haven't told this story before. So one day I'm sitting there, I'm lying in my bed. After I woke up, before I got out of bed, and God tells me, lie down flat on the ground. So I'm like, so I didn't do it right away because I'm tired. And then when I go to get up from bed, I lie down on the ground. And as I get out of bed, my whole body is filled with burning rage against this kid named Jonathan Lin, who's in my fraternity. When I was in University of Illinois, this Chinese guy.